It's me, Courtney, and I'm back with my boo Lisa of Nomad Peeps. Today we're recording an episode for her podcast, and of course, y'all, I had to give you an exclusive one time for all the patrons. Thank you for supporting me. So this is an exclusive before anybody else gets it. You'll be able to see this interview, hear this interview, and just vibe out with us. So you can go ahead and take it over.
All right, here we go. So we probably might have to do. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
All right. So we're back, and as promised, I have very special guests. Now she's very special for many reasons. I'll have to say that a year ago, when I originally started to get this podcast together, this was originally the first guest. So I still consider her the first guest. I'm sitting here right next to Courtney Williams, the Courtney Williams. Please say hi to the people.
Hi, everybody.
Yes.
Hi, sis.
So, just to paint you guys a picture of what's happening right now, we are in my apartment, little studio apartment. We chill on the floor. We got the candles lit.
In the trenches, honey.
In the trenches. The
crystals
sage.
out, honey.
Yes, crystals
are
out. We are very comfortable and we are very relaxed, which is perfect because we are talking about, as you guys already know, about working with what you got.
Period.
By any means necessary.
Period.
And I thought that it was really, like, I had to have you for this episode because I feel like of all the people that I know who are truly out here living this nomad lifestyle, you're one of the only people that's really out here doing it. Because a lot of people talk about, wanting to live abroad, but they really don't know what it takes.
Or how to do it.
Or how to do
start,
it.
Or, it'd be a lot, so thank you.
And also, it's kind of like you're an inspiration for me. So I just want to let everybody know that before we even met, things are so divine. Things are lining up right now.
Ain't it?
Before we met, I was still in Melbourne, Australia, and I had come across her video. So Courtney, I saw her when she was in her journey and she was in Vietnam. And that's where I came across her. And watching her videos pretty much got me together and like, okay, I got to get with my situation. I got to get up out of here. And we ended up meeting months later. I want to say from the time I saw her first video in May. In November of that same year, we met for the first time. Not planned.
Very unplanned. Very, very divine encounter.
Yeah.
Very divine encounter.
Yeah.
And we gotta say that, like, right now it's November again.
Yeah. And we're recording this episode 2 years later.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yes.
And I just gotta say thank you so much for having me again.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me, peeps.
Yes. So to get into this, I want you to give everybody, and I always ask everyone that's on the show, I want you to give everybody just a quick little rundown of you and how you came to be like where you are currently, your travel.
From the beginning of my travel journey, or the beginning of where I feel like this spiritual journey began?
Well, let's say with a moment where you realized you wanted to leave the U.S. Let's start there.
Okay. So I had a real nigga moment in my car. I had graduated college, and I had given myself a year with my best friend. We were gonna move to New York or LA, one of the two. Everybody wanted to move to New York or LA. Yeah. And we're fashion majors. So my major was fashion merchandising. Right. I was a makeup artist my last 2 years of college, and basically I just wanted to live out my greatness in the runway. You know what I mean? Behind the scenes, doing my thing. And it was really hard for me. Basically, it was like a transition after college because I didn't have the same type of money that I had while I was in school. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, that backing of school as well. Because it's like, college is hard. However, at the same time, you still have a community around you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's almost as if I felt like I had lost my community. And it felt like, it just basically, I felt like I was grinding it out. And this is so significant because we've been talking so much about this misconception of overworking yourself, Mm-hmm. And I legitimately was. I was grinding it out. I was going to all the networking events. I was doing all kind of free work, trying to build my brand, trying to build my, trying to build my name up, trying to win, trying to
Yeah.
become a hungry artist instead of a starving artist.
Right. Yeah.
And basically, girl, I lost everything. Like I was homeless during this time, and it was like my friends didn't know a lot. Like I don't even know who knew that I was homeless because I was hiding it. I was ashamed.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed. You know what I mean? Like how could I end up in this point? I just got a degree. Like
Yeah,
what is
yeah.
really going
Right.
on? And I legitimately was in my car, as cliche as it sounds. I don't remember where I was coming from. Like I feel like I had just done a prom makeup, and the lady didn't pay me. Like I literally went to this lady's house, left the salon that I was working at to go to this lady's house to do her daughter's makeup. I get there, I do her daughter's makeup, and she did not pay me. Do you know? So then I had to go back to my salon and tell my owner I can't give you the blueprint that I told you I was gonna give you from this payment because the lady didn't pay me.
But why did she pay? I'm just.
Black people sometimes be on this
I got
whole
you
like,
later.
yeah, I got you
Don't
later.
worry. Let me
Yeah,
get you later.
yeah,
Okay, right.
yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
like, sis, if you knew what was really going on in my life right now,
I ain't got time for this.
I ain't got time for this.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't got time. And I literally had to badger her to get that money.
Yeah.
However, neither there.
Yeah.
Basically, I ended that night in my car. And I just had a breakdown. It's like after you've been trying so many things like over and over and over and ain't nothing working.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing.
Right.
It don't feel like nothing working. It's like I literally just had a moment where I was just like talking to God, and I was like, look, what we need to do. Like it was like when I tell you a real nigga moment, it was a real nigga moment, sis. I was like, what do we need to do? And the thing that popped up into my head, as cliche as it sounds, it was like, if you were dying tomorrow, what would you want to do? Truly, just simply, authentically, what would you be doing? Like if it was like that, like life or death, like, and you only had a little, like 24 hours to live the life that you want to live. And the two things that popped up into my head, I want to travel and I want to do makeup.
Okay.
And within 4 months, I was out.
Made the moves.
I was out. I was like,
Right.
all right, cool. And I didn't even tell anybody either. Like, I didn't tell anybody. Like, part of that process for me, it felt like this was not something that needed to be shared. Like, literally, my process was, okay, if I can book all the flights to where I want to go, then I'm going to go.
Okay. Yeah.
If I can find a little bit, it was like literally taking it piece by piece. But my first thing for sure was like booking flights. So that meant I had to set a date. I had to be solid about, this is the date that I'm leaving.
Right.
And I literally planned out the first places that I was going to stop. And I was like, after that, I'm just going to flow with it.
Because it's real once you book the flight.
It's real when
really
you put your money up on that table. It's real.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person that I ain't wasting no coinage. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially in that, period of time for me, I was definitely like I'm a tourist. We're very mindful about money. You know what I mean? So I just was like, I know when I put my money up on these flights, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting my
Right,
money.
of course.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
in the same time, I didn't tell anybody either until I bought those flights, because projection is really real. People will project their fears on you just because they believe that they can't do it, and they will discourage you. So it's like I guarded.
You gotta protect yourself.
Yeah, I protected this trip before I left. When I tell you, it was a lot of people angry. It was a lot of people upset. Because they was like, they felt left out. They felt like, why you didn't involve me in the process of this. And I just kind of, I didn't let it bother me, because at the end of the day, it's like, honey, me and Jesus this was me and Jesus. Wasn't nobody in this car with me but me and Jesus. We had this conversation, not you, me, da-da-da-da-da. All y'all weren't here with me in this moment. Like, you weren't with me shooting in the gym. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was homeless. I could, none of y'all opened your house to me. I couldn't, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like none of y'all could help me in that moment. So when I had to go to the source to figure out what I needed to do next to get out of this situation, none of y'all was there. So I just felt like that just made it even more significant of like, why I was good about the feelings that they were trying to bring to me after they found out. Because I'm like, nah, I'm not like that's not my responsibility. That sounds like a personal problem. I did what I needed to do for me.
Yeah.
So I took some money, like literally I sold it. When I tell you I sold everything, every single thing that I owed, I sold. Basically, I did like a $5 sale. Like literally, I did like a Facebook sale, like a pop up flash. Yeah, like a pop up flash sale.
Yeah.
Like everything is $5. Girl, I had stuff that I had like brand new. Like my car, obviously I'm living out my car. The car was packed to the brim. I was like, nah, all this can go. This car can go. Like when I tell you I sold everything, and I must give my boo. They used to go by Cool Young History. Now they go by Indefinite Honeymoon.
Oh yeah,
they
okay.
killed it.
I love them.
She was my inspiration.
Okay, yes.
I love them too.
Oh, that's right. That was
Girl,
her old name. I forgot that.
That's if you ain't one. That's back in the trenches because they done changed some things up.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, it was like I feel like when I found them, they may have been like 3 years in. Yeah, they have been in it for a minute. And I want to say that I found them through like a Nicole Bitchy site.
Okay,
remember Nicole Bitchy?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Hello,
okay.
you know.
Yeah.
So basically, I just saw their story on Nicole Bitchy's website, and basically that's how they got out the country.
Okay.
Like they sold everything that they had, and I was just like, if they can do it, I can do it. That's how I'm going to do it.
Right.
And that's how I got the idea of, like, I'm going to sell everything, and I'm just going to go. And it's literally like I'm buying my tickets. And when I tell you I bought these tickets piece by piece. Like, I bought them piece by piece. It was like I was doing little makeup gigs here and there, get the money together. Okay, now that's ticket bought.
Wow.
Okay, now that's tickets bought.
Right.
Now that's ticket bought. Then eventually all the tickets were bought, and I was just like, you know what? As far as the rest of the money goes, I already got a date set, so whatever amount of money I have when I go, I'm going to go. Yeah. And I didn't have much. Yeah. Like, I literally had, I feel like when I left Houston, I probably had about $1,500. However, I kind of like did a little tour, so I didn't like go straight out of the country. I went to like Chicago, I went to LA, and I went to New York, which kind of was a little bit of, like, I'm not gonna say it was a mistake because, like, nothing is by chance, nothing is a mistake, that's where I was meant to go because I went. However, New York took a big chunk of my coin.
It's literally hemorrhaging.
Girl,
not blood, hemorrhaging.
Yeah,
that's what I love that term because that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, honey.
You blink and you down like $25.
Girl. And I was real confused because I couch surfed this whole time.
Oh,
so that was another thing for me too because I was like, basically the process of thinking about this was also like, okay, so I gotta cut some expenses. The biggest expense is accommodation. And this is another thing, I gotta bring it back to my girl Amira at Indefinite Honeymoon because when they started, that was part of their story. They didn't pay for accommodations either. They used to do a lot of house sitting.
Oh, right.
They started, I feel like they started in Europe, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're in Bali?
Yeah,
they're in Bali. Yeah.
Girl, they're in Bali.
Yeah, they got a whole
I need to hop over there to see them. Hello, they bought a house leveling up. It's like
they're like renting it. It's a nice house too.
Girl.
But anyway,
yes for them. Yes for them. And just yes for seeing their progression because that really just goes to show that like, don't be fooled by these travelers who are making it seem like, they just leaving the country and everything all peaches and cream. Like, you might go through a little thing. You might run out of money. It's going to be okay. You keep going. And as the years progress, you're going to be building and building. And before you know, you're going to be living an unrecognizable life. Period.
Ooh.
Period.
Yes.
Okay?
Speak
so, I just...
Hello.
Come on, girl. It's Sunday. Y'all gonna get this word, honey. Y'all gonna get this word. So, yeah, like, I was like, okay, so the house sitting might not work for me off top because, you had to pay like $100 to even get on the site. And I was like, I was trying to conserve, So, let's not pay
$100. They make it Bitcoin. I didn't know it was like...
Yeah, you had to, I don't know what it is now. At that time, it was like $100, which it makes sense because it's like if you're in Europe.
Either.
Yeah, you don't want just anybody at the same time. If you're in Europe, like those houses that they were staying at were nice. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they had some really good legit places from time to time. However, that didn't really work for me, especially for Asia. That didn't really work for me. And so I was like, okay, I'm a couch surf. And I literally, when I tell you, I couch surfed my whole first year. So I didn't pay anything for accommodations, you know, and I just went. So like part of the reason of why I stopped in all of those places was very significant because I was a makeup artist, you know. I was a practicing makeup artist. Now I'm being led to do other things. However, at that time it was like I was wanting to connect with photographers and models. You know, I wanted to be the first makeup artist to you know, be faces all the way around the world. So I was like, okay, let me go to Chicago. That's a significant marketing scene for makeup artists. LA, I went to makeup school there, so of course I wanted to go back. And then New York, I went around the New York Fashion Week. This is why I spent a big chunk of time there. Like I feel like I spent like 19 days, honey. So a big chunk of my money was gone after New York. And I almost didn't even make it out of New York. That's gonna be for another podcast, another story time, honey. Anywho, when I left New York, when I left the States and I landed in Bangkok, I had $200.
Wow.
I was scared as hell.
Woo.
Bangkok was a culture shock. When I got up in there, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
wait a minute.
Hello. I was like, wait. Right. Like, I legitimately, girl, one of my really good friends, the longest friendship that I have had, I called him. Or maybe he called me, because it's like I was in my couch surfing host and I was in such culture shock. I hadn't got out of the bed for like a couple of days. I wasn't even eating, and she was like, my little couch surfing host was like having the maid come check on me because she was worried. And I have to even say, even with that, I landed in Bangkok and didn't even have a host. So I had to find a host when I got to the airport. And I found one within like an hour. So it's like, you know, things be aligning. Like, it's like, even if you're scared, even if it feel like it ain't really working, like, things come full circle. What you need will be provided. Right. You just gotta go.
Yes.
And it's like just going is sometimes what's so hard for people to do. However, it's like just having that faith. Like, I am, you know, secure. I'm protected. I'm grounded. My spirit team, my divine spirit team, you know, they love the mess out of me, and they show up.
Yes.
You know, it's like you gotta take that mentality. So I just remember however we got on this call, and I was telling him how scared I was. I don't believe I told him how much money I had. However, cause I didn't want to hear that, like, how, you know, just that chastising of like, what the girl, the what, girl, you know. So I didn't tell him that. However, I just was expressing how scared I was, you know. And then I was in a real rural part, you know, like it was nobody that spoke English, and I just was like, oh no. Right. So literally, he prayed for me. We prayed on that call, and he just poured so much into me. Like, you got this. Like, this is, like, you know, that was, like, one of those pivotal calls, because I definitely was having a moment of regret. Like, oh, what did I do? Yeah. What did I do? Yeah. What I do, though? It was a moment. Yeah. And literally, fast forward now, 5 years later, girl, I'm still making it happen. So it's possible. Even if you ain't got, you know, if you don't have the money that you think you should have, it's possible.
And this is what we're talking about today, turning like challenges into wins. Because, and I talked about this on the very first episode of being a solo traveler. Fear is it's crazy how fear is like, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. It'll really hold you back from even trying. Yeah. Even the thought. And this is just thoughts. You haven't even taken any action, you know? And it's just a little, it's a big speed bump to get over. So
it's because you need to get used to walking even in your fear. Yeah. That's really the key. It's like, because, you know, it's like I've been having this moment, because I feel like it was a misconception of, like, you know, when you go out of the country, it's this big thing that people think you done made it or whatever, or thinking that you're not scared. And I'm like, first of all, baby, do you know how many times I done ran out of money? Like, my bank account looking funny right now. You know? Yeah. And I'm just like, you know, I'm also, it's not that I was lacking fear, because I was scared at various times, you know, especially being in a country that is not your country and running out of money and ain't nobody around you.
Yes.
And the background that I come from, I don't have a financial safety net. You know, where I could call somebody and be like, you know what, I'm out of money. Can you send me something? I don't have that. So I really had to figure it out and just go with my, like, surrender to my journey. Surrender to
my journey.
Surrender. That's tweetable, baby. I
yes,
can tweet that.
Yeah, I know. I need to take notes. So many
my
gems.
Journey, okay?
There's so many gems here.
Hello.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta get used to walking even in fear. And I was recently, y'all know the Harriet movie just came out. The Harriet Tubman movie. I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. And basically that is popping up a lot in a lot of conversations that I've been having with people who have seen it. And it's just like, you know, these civil rights people are these civil rights icons that we had in like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, who have been so influential for moving the black narrative and black rights forward. It almost seems like they weren't scared. However, contrary to popular belief, I definitely believe that they were. You know what I mean? They just walked anyway.
Yeah.
They just was like, I'm scared. However, I know this is something bigger than me. And I know that I'm protected. Even though I'm scared, I'm going to be all right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That on that, okay?
Ooh,
that on that. I'm getting chills, honey. That on that.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
Perfect.
So that's the first part of this podcast. If you want to catch the rest of it, honey, because y'all know we dropping all the gems today. Definitely go check out my boo. I'm going to link all of her details, okay? You want to say anything before we go?
What do I want to say? Oh, yeah. Just peep me. You can find me, Lisa, the modern day Afronaut. That's my little tagline for myself. Modern day Afronaut on IG. And you can follow everything that's going on with the Nomad Peeps podcast on IG at Nomad Peeps Pod.
Hello.
Yeah.
Support my boo.
Yes.
Support my boo, honey. She gonna have all the good, juicy details for how you can live your best life, okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Girl, it's gonna be lit. So, as always, remember, people stare, make it worth their while. See y'all later.